Well, Rose, I've seen so many stories in attention to the fact that you cut your hair. Are you surprised that people paid that much attention to it? Were you expecting that at all?
Like, I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I always question, why is hair even a big deal? You know, so that's part of the reason why I cut it off too, is just to ask the question, like, why does anybody care, you know? But that's just the way society is nowadays. They focus on really weird things.
You made the comment when you did it that this isn't a beauty pageant. Was that directed at Paige at all?
No. It's more like just directed at just, you know, anybody that thinks it's a beauty pageant, you know? Obviously, nobody actually thinks that, but I think some people get a little distracted and focus on other things other than just a fight.
We'll focus on the fight. What do you think about Paige as a fighter? I mean, is she a media creation, a UFC hype creation, or do you feel that she's legit?
No, I mean, she has a reason for people to talk about her. I mean, she's definitely on a roll. She's very, you know, just the whole package, and she's very exciting. So I think she has all the hype that she deserves. And she's a very formidable opponent, and I'm not taking her lightly.
How do you feel you match up?
I match up really great against her. You know, my striking and my jiu-jitsu is definitely going to pose a lot of problems for her. And my wrestling and my clinch work is getting better every day. And I'm just really comfortable in her.
Rose, you had said that cutting your hair was somewhat of a transformation for you and shedding the past. Can you go into more detail about that and really explain what you meant?
Yeah, I guess it's definitely I could probably write a book on it, but just years and years of playing in sports, not just fighting, ever since growing up, and always being a tomboy growing up and not really wanting to have to do my hair. I don't even know how to do it, you know, and I don't know, I just got to put a whole bunch of product in it and just not really, I'm more, I want to just be able to wake up in the morning and feel pretty, not have to do a whole bunch of crap. So, you know, it's definitely just like shedding the past in terms of like being psychologically mean to my hair as well as physically, and just ripping it out all the time and stuff.
Ahead of your last, a couple fights back with Carla, you said that all the media pressure was a little bit much. How are you handling things this week?
Great, you know. There's definitely a lot of people here, not just for the fights, but for the rodeo and stuff, and it was a little overwhelming like the first day here, but I just kind of settled in, and I've got my dog here with me, so and I've got the right people around me, and we know how to like kind of just monitor my feelings all the time and be honest about everything. Like, it's okay to feel like weird or scared or this and that. Like, just being able to face it better and be honest about it makes me stronger and better.
In terms of going after another title shot, where do you think that this fight, should you take a win over Paige, puts you?
To me, I don't really even think about that, you know, just this fight. Obviously, that's what I think that people want. I think that people want me to be in a title shot once again. You know, but I'm really not looking at that. Just focusing on this fight.
Rose, Paige is known for a pressure fighting style. Do you feel like your active submission game is going to help neutralize that?
Yeah, I mean, she makes a lot of mistakes in her fight, and just girls haven't been able to capitalize on it yet. I mean, she has such heart and tenacity that she's able to kind of make up for it in that sense, and she also uses her mistakes to her advantage, because some people overly jump on things, or, you know, try and jump on her back and try and choke her out too fast, and she gets right back on top. And she likes those scrambles. So, but for me, I'm really good in the scrambles. Like, it takes me less than a second to see something and grab onto it. So she's got to be very careful.
Is this Mishka's first scrum, and how's she handling the media?
You know, she's actually doing really well. I have her in this vest right now, and it kind of like calms her down. If I took off the vest right now, she'd be loving everybody and be very social, but now she's at work and she's keeping me calm, and you know, as long as she's calm, then I'm calm.
You and your fiance Pat Barry are, you know, one of the most prominent couples in the UFC. I know you've been training together for a long time. Is this sort of thing kind of old hat to you guys at this point, or do you still find ways to train together that you know, you're discovering? Yeah,
Pat is ever evolving, even not fighting anymore. He's always coming up with new techniques and new philosophies, and just more, he always does things better for other people than for himself. And so when he was in fighting himself, I think he kind of just wanted to focus on me at the same time. So it's definitely better for him to be on this side of things at this point and helping me, because his creativeness is just like out there, you know, and he like I said, he's coming up with new techniques every day and concepts with fighting, and it's really helping me a lot.
You're living in Colorado now. How do you feel the altitude trains is going to help you during this fight?
I think, like, I don't really know necessarily physically, like, what are all the advantages, like, scientifically and stuff like that. I know it, like, raises your blood cell count or whatever, but for me, it's more mental. It's like, now I don't even like going back and forth between the altitude unless if I go like back and forth twice. I don't even really notice it anymore. So it's just more being able to be okay with being comfortable. I don't think you ever get fully acclimated to the altitude. It's just being okay with things that make you uncomfortable, and that's just one more obstacle that I can overcome, and it makes me stronger mentally as well as any obstacle that comes my way here.
Have you noticed more energy since coming to Vegas?
Yeah, I do, and I don't know if it's just because of the altitude or if it's because I'm just like, feeding off everybody's energy and stuff like that. At the same time, it's also like when I'm not, like right before this workout, I was just like feeling like, man, I need to take a nap. And that's always how you feel on fight day, like you really feel tired. But it's all just your body preparing you. It makes you feel like you have to take a nap, but really your body's just saving it all up, and then you see that product just right there.
So Rose, this will be your third pro fight in the UFC and your second main event. That's got to be a record for the division or something like that, and for people who aren't established champions already. How do you feel about just how successful you've been in the UFC and the fact that you've gotten so far so quickly?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I'm really hard on myself a lot, but I have to always just step back and see everything that I've done, and it's really amazing. Like there's no losing this situation. It's all an experience under my belt, and I don't know, it's just like really amazing. I've always excelled at things in my life, like just growing up, just whatever I was doing, whether it be, I don't know, doing the dishes or doing homework or doing sports, like I was always trying to be the best at it no matter what, and I guess it just paid off.
And obviously there's a ton of pressure that comes with that success, but it can be a good thing or a bad thing. Some people thrive off of it. How do you feel about the level of pressure?
I mean, I think it's just your attitude towards it. This fight, like I said before, I was kind of like last time I was in the title shot, I was focused on the past and then too much focus on the future. I just gotta stay present in the moment right now. I'm enjoying these interviews and stuff, and I'm enjoying just my time here in Vegas every day. And I'm not gonna look past or before that, or after that, I should say.
That being said, headlining this card, it's a huge fight week. You're being used to sell a pretty big card. Does this feel like a new phase in your career or a next step?
Yeah, it always is. I wake up every morning trying to be a new, better person and version of myself. I never try and be the same thing. So that's what's going to be hard for girls to keep up with me, because I'm always ever evolving my style, always trying to improve, and you can't ever expect anything from me. You can always just expect me to be dangerous.
How about in the wrestling department? I know that was something that you wanted to put some focus on. How much have you really honed that in on this training camp?
Paige isn't necessarily so much as so for this fight in particular, I'm always working on just wrestling in general, but for this fight we've more worked on the upper body type of stuff. The low double legs to shoot in. It's not really her style necessarily, but I'm also prepared for that if she decides to throw a wrench into things. I'm always prepared. But, I've been working a lot with Justin Gaethje, who's a WSOF champ, and she's like, his fighting style is like Paige but times 1,000. And he just goes in there, goes forward, knocks people out, but he's also a really good wrestler. And just more working on clinch defense and, just neutralizing that position and being explosive in the places that she wants you to just crumble.
In regards to women's MMA, what was your reaction to Holly Holm knocking out Ronda Rousey?
Man, if somebody had recorded my reaction, I was all over the place. I was so impressed with Holly. I can't even imagine how much pressure that Ronda was under in that fight and just in any of her fights. But, so I still have a huge level of respect for her and just going out there and being so gangster with it and just keep running forward at her. But Holly, man, she's an inspiration. She's just so impressive, like beyond impressive, beyond words.